now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about several different bullish things, different bullish developments that have happened over the last 24 hours. Several of them are going to have far-reaching implications on the Bitcoin price, and they are all very bullish for Bitcoin. Today, we're going to be talking about how another $150 million of Bitcoin, of United States dollars, flowed into the Bitcoin ETFs as of yesterday, bringing our total up to nearly $1 billion in only 4 short trading days, almost an average of $250 million a day. We're also going to be talking about how the CFTC has come out once again very much firmly in favor of Bitcoin and Ethereum being commodities, and most importantly, that we're going to talk about, it looks like the SEC might actually be much more open to more securitized products than just the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs. It seems they might actually be open to something like a Solana or a Binance or an XRP or a Cardano ETF. And so we will be looking at all of those pieces of news, and we'll be looking at the chart in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you are new here, I want you to go ahead and give me a wave. Give me a wave emoji in chat. I want to give you a shout out. Welcome to our stream. Thank you so very much for being here. Really appreciate all of you for tuning in. We've got a dog with hat in chat. Cynthia Dizon is in chat. A2 Drew is in chat. Called Out is in chat. We got Satcha321, Crypto Surge, and many more in chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And then we've also got one more piece of news. Actually, we've got like 5 or 6 things to talk about today. We've got one more piece of news that I think is one of the most significant pieces of news that Bitcoin has seen in a very long time, and I'm going to share with you exactly what that is later on towards the end of the stream. God is love, giving us a wave. Shout out to you, God is love. That is true. God absolutely is love, and God is light. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone who is new here. Vatos giving us the wave. Shout out to you. Maxim L in chat. Good morning to you as well, my friend. And Ruslana is in chat. Welcome to the stream, guys. We've got a lot to cover. Thank you so much for tuning in. I promise you, before you leave our stream, I am going to give you some information about what Bitcoin is doing, where the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets are going, and most importantly, how you can generate wealth here in the cryptocurrency space. Seaweed Steve in chat. Ajay Babu is in chat. I hope I got that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. Ajay Babu, that's a really cool name. Gave us a wave. Shout out to you. And Angela W. Good morning from England. Good morning. Schmedley B. has a praise report. Let's go ahead and read this. This is awesome. Schmedley B. said, good morning, Jeb. Made my final mortgage payment last week. 1 credit card to pay off. Financial sovereignty. Almost achieved. Soon. Good for you, Schmedley B. Listen, I would have paid the credit cards off before the mortgage, but I am so proud of you that you're almost done. Well done. Well done. Well done. You're going to feel so much better. How does it feel? Schmedley B, I wish I had the calling system set up. We're going to get that set up after the baby comes. I'm just doing the final touches, get ready for our baby who's going to be here, in a few weeks. I wish I had the calling system set up, though, and I would ask you to call in and tell us how that feels. Tell us in chat, how does it feel right now walking around in that house of yours with no mortgage on it? How long do you have the mortgage? How does it feel? I want the testimony. What is that like? I'm so excited for you. Good job, my friend. You're absolutely on the path towards financial sovereignty. Let's get started here, and then we'll keep it moving. Kenneth is also in chat. Shout out to you as well. Hashtag FinSov. Let's see it in chat. That's what we're all here about. Now, Bitcoin is currently trading at $57,700. After giving the page a quick refresh, we can see that it's currently sitting right there. We did actually rally a little bit higher than this over the last 24 hours, but we had a small corrective movement ever since about 8 a.m. this morning. We originally rallied up to almost $60,000. Yeah, we actually did almost make it to $60,000. We almost made it to $60,000, but we didn't quite. We got rejected. And so here's the deal. Matanya Holmes also said, finish my debt. Good for you. Oh my goodness. This is, you guys are just absolutely making my day. I'm sorry. It's so hard for me to focus on the charts when I see you guys saying that. So excited for you. That's great. Anyway. So Bitcoin did rally up to $59,500, which is great because that was one of our major levels of support. There was a level of support that had then become a level of resistance. 59.5 was a level that we set as support here on the 5th of March, which is actually our wedding anniversary. Here on the 19th of April, 2024 as well, we set 59.5 as a level of support. Now we're using it as resistance. Here's the point. All right, here's where I have to go with this. We're going to talk about a bunch of news and how it all comes together and impacts the market. But here's what we see here. Bitcoin is hitting its head and using former support as resistance. Just slow down, so this is simple. All right, believe it or not, I do have the ability to talk slower. You probably didn't think I had it in me. Bitcoin rallying up to and hitting 59.5 as resistance is a difficult thing. It's difficult because that is a very strong level. If we look at the visible range volume profile, I haven't turned it on. By the way, I haven't looked at VRVP in a few weeks. I haven't needed to. I know what it says. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a gigantic, I'm going to make a prediction of what VRVP looks like. It's going to look like that. That's what VRVP is going to look like. Haven't looked at it in over a month. Let's see. Yeah, called it. So the reason that we know that is obvious, right? If you know how VRVP works, then there's nothing fancy about what I just did. You can see all the trading up here. You see all the trading up here. No trading right here. So Bitcoin has to butt up against this huge block of trading. So somebody said in the comment section of a video recently, Jeb's been calling a bull market for 2 years, laughing emoji. And I said, well, you know, in the last 2 years, it's rallied 300%. So I am very bullish, but I'm also very much a realist. And so while I think Bitcoin may be in the process of making a reversal, I also would be remiss if not to tell you that this is going to be hard. Bitcoin's going to have to fight to get through this block of resistance. And so when we hit our head on 59.5 and we rejected, that didn't surprise me because we're going to have to really fight hard to get through that resistance. Guys, I'm going to show you how Bitcoin can and how Bitcoin most likely will do that. But we've got to understand, first and foremost, that it's going to be hard. We're going to look at the technicals, and then we're going to continue talking to chat, and then we're going to look at the news side of things. There's a lot of news going on right now that's driving some of this market. On our technical analysis, we once again are being approached with the concept of a bullish MACD cross. We almost had a bullish MACD cross back on the 2nd of July, which was a Tuesday, which was last week. It didn't happen. Instead, Bitcoin continued its nosedive, and the bullish MACD cross never materialized. At the same time, Bitcoin was beginning an uptrend on its RSI, which never materialized, and we fell back down. Now, what's different about this is that this time we have something called bullish RSI divergence. We've got a downtrending level of support here, uptrending level of support right here, and that gives us a bullish reversal. This is something I've been teaching on in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, CT2A, for the better part of a decade. Bullish RSI divergence is very, well, you guessed it, bullish. So these are promising signs, but my concern is that Bitcoin in its recovery is not creating what we call a V-bottom. It's not just bouncing. There's not this massive lower shadow here. No. Instead, there is a 90-odd degree angle here. You see that? About a 90-degree angle. Remember back to like 5th grade geometry? 90-degree angle. Oftentimes when you see an angle like that, what ends up occurring is that it is a continuation. We saw a most recent example of that where we had a crash, kind of a bounce, about that 90-degree angle right there. It ended up being a bear flag. So our original prediction was a $10,000 drop. We actually only ever dropped $8,500. I have been accused of being overly bullish in the last few weeks, but actually our official prediction is as low as $49,000, which has not happened yet. So to be crystal clear, I am not a bull. As far as I'm a perma bull in Bitcoin, and I've got no problem admitting that. I buy Bitcoin, I hold it for 7 years. Every time I've ever done that, it has been in profit. Our oldest Bitcoin holding 6 years old, but you get my point. Any of the Bitcoin I've ever held for over 5 years even has always been in profit. Always. Yes, I'm a perma bull when you give me enough time in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the United States stock market, and US real estate. In those 4 categories, I'm a perma bull. I believe that they're going to go up and to the right forever. Maybe different amounts of returns, but you give it 7 to 10 years in any of those markets, they're almost certainly going to be in a profit. So yeah, I'm a perma bull in that. Short term, nah. No, I'm on the side of the bears right now. The bears are obviously driving this market. Well, wait a minute, Jeb. What about this rally in the last couple of weeks? We haven't confirmed squat. We haven't broken above 59.5. We don't have the bullish MACD cross yet. It could happen tomorrow. It could also just not happen like happened last Tuesday. I am very, very, very confident that Bitcoin is going to have a rally in the later part of this year. But Bitcoin has got to prove itself. It's the same thing I say about Cardano. Based on the technology, and I'm not afraid to admit it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. I made a mistake then. I said that I believe that Cardano will be $10 by the end of the decade. I'd like to think that that could still happen. But at this point, I really need to see Cardano prove it. It's not proving it. I've not been proved. It looks like a stick in the ground. You've heard me talk about that before, right? A stick in the ground formation. Cardano is a stick in the ground formation. It has not proved it. Right? What's a stick in the ground formation? It's a term I came up with. There's the ground and there's a stick. That's the whole chart. It's a stick in the ground. There's nothing. It's just a little, boom. Just one rally and that's it. Love Cardano. I think it can come back, but it's really got to prove itself to me. Now, in the same way, Bitcoin's got to prove itself to me. It's got to get above 59.5. And so the question we're going to be discussing for the rest of this stream is Bitcoin about to actually do that, or is it going to take longer? Now, guys, I also want to make sure that while you're browsing online and while you're working in the cryptocurrency space, you're staying safe. Because if you do not, and you lose all your wealth, then there was absolutely no point whatsoever. And that is extremely disappointing. I don't want you guys to lose your wealth. I want you to stay protected. I want you to stay safe. And so that is why today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. If you've not already signed up for NordVPN, you absolutely should. NordVPN keeps you safe while you browse online by keeping you invisible. So if you haven't, make sure that you sign up with the link in the description box down below or by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb. I greatly appreciate all of you guys who have been tuning in. And also shout out to someone who just signed up for financial coaching. You must be watching the stream. So I'm not going to say your name because I keep all of that confidential, but shout out to you. Looking forward to meeting you. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat here. I just had a financial coaching call yesterday. A lot of fun. Love coaching you guys. So much fun. Let's see. Let's read some chat, and then we will keep it moving here. Matanya Holmes, who just paid off his homes. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Said, took so much hard work, dude. Thanks, my man. Good job. Yeah, good job to Schmedley B. Good job to you, Matanya Holmes. Matanya Holmes, I believe you said something about you were in the process of paying off your mortgage as well. Finished off my debt. Good job, man. Good job. Schmedley B said, in relation to, he said he had just paid off his mortgage. He's about to pay off the rest of his credit cards. And I asked him, how does that feel? And he said, it feels a lot less stress now. Do you feel just like this peace? Just like, everything's going to be fine. Because I remember when we paid off all our consumer debt, I was like, I feel so much better. It's just peace. It feels so good. Feels good. Let's see here. Let's read a little bit more chat here. Let's see. Crypto Independent. A lot of chat about Cardano here. I love Cardano. Love the tech. Love Charles Hoskinson. I know Charles Hoskinson. I've interviewed Charles Hoskinson. We have the interview on the channel. I hold Cardano. It's got to prove itself to me. I invest in assets. I just said this in my coaching call yesterday with someone. I told them, they were asking about altcoins, and I told people the same thing. Matanya Holmes and Schmedley B both just said exactly to what I said. Schmedley B said exactly when I said this, I feel so good. And Matanya Holmes just said, dude, it's like heaven, not having debt. Listen to them. Pay off your debt. You don't have to wait to pay off your mortgage before you become an investor. I wouldn't do that. But pay off all of your consumer debt. You'll be 80% of the way there. You pay off your mortgage, you feel even better. It's incredible. Incredible feeling. Anyway, I just talked to somebody in coaching yesterday about the idea that, we have been, for the most part, invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum for a very long time. People have been playing with, altcoins for years. And I love altcoins. There's money to be made there. But the Bitcoin market and the Ethereum market are the two markets that have a proven track record of if you hold them for a certain amount of time, they will be in profit. And that's worth something. The most returns I've ever made in my portfolio, whether I'm trading or swing trading or, trading for a cycle or whatever, has always been in the fact that I bought and held Bitcoin and Ethereum for more than 5 years. I hold Ethereum, and this statement gets more and more shocking to people every single day because it gets further and further in the past. I hold Ethereum that I purchased sub $200. I hold Bitcoin that I acquired at $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000. That's where I acquired some Bitcoin. That's where I acquired some Ethereum. It's up 10, 15x because I held it for 5 years. What you want to do to succeed in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the first thing you do. I just had another coaching client at our house on Monday. I was doing in-person coaching with them, and a friend of the family. So that's why they were here. And so, you know, I coach them and help them to understand, hey, altcoins, great. You got nothing wrong if you want to get into altcoins. I will teach you everything I know about them if that's what you want to do. Start here. Buy Bitcoin on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. You know, they decide to do it basically every time a paycheck came in. Cool, whatever. Just on a regular basis, whatever it is. That's every 2 weeks or 1st and 15th or however. And then you decide how much money you're going to put in, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you run that for years. And then you look up in 5 to 10 years and you're like, holy cow, I've got a couple $100,000 here. How'd that happen? Because you ran a system. And so I want you guys to be very, very, very careful with all of the things going around in crypto. Do this, become a millionaire. Do this, become a millionaire. I guarantee you that if you do what I teach you, you'll become a millionaire. Nobody else has the balls to say that because it doesn't always work. What I'm teaching you always works, assuming the market does what it's done before, or even a half of what it's done before. You will be a millionaire. It's that simple. It's gonna happen, right? So it's just that simple. Do what I'm teaching you, become a millionaire, multimillionaire, and have peace. Have the peace that Matanya Holmes and Schmedley B are talking about in chat of having no debt. All that. All right. We've got a lot of news to cover. I'm going to go ahead and run through these individually because they're all very important. CFTC chair reiterated to U.S. Senate that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities. This is very exciting because the SEC is not fighting this battle anymore. They were trying to fight this battle on Ethereum, kind of like in a roundabout way fighting it. They're not anymore. They're just kind of giving up. Rostin Benham, you may have heard of him. He is the chief of the U.S. CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. CFTC manages things like corn and iron and oil. Those are commodities. They're not companies. But the debate has been raging for a very long time whether Bitcoin and Ethereum are securities or commodities. Well, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been, Bitcoin's been settled. It's a commodity for a very long time, but Ethereum has been kind of an open debate. Benham has been very clear that he believes that it's a commodity, and the CFTC isn't, or excuse me, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is not really arguing with it anymore. They're basically just letting him believe that, and so that's very much just becoming the status quo. That's basically what's happening here. And so this is very important. Benham emphasized that the lack of action from other U.S. regulators would not diminish public interest in digital assets and could potentially increase risks to financial markets and investors. In short, our current trajectory is not sustainable. Federal legislation is urgently needed to create a pathway for a regulatory framework that will protect American investors and possibly the financial system from future risk, he said, referring to digital assets and the growth of that economy. And so we're going to see continued growth out of the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs, especially considering the fact that in a roundabout way, they're actually the underlying assets are becoming known as commodities. Now, the ETFs themselves are securities because you're securitizing something the same way, gold is a commodity, but the GLD ETF is a security because it's, traded and managed and all that, and it passed the Howey test. But, the fact that they are being labeled as commodities basically ensures their future in America, ensures that they're not going to be, hit with this whole, you're a security, now bow down and comply to us. Well, hang on, Bitcoin's decentralized. Who's supposed to actually do that? Then that just turns into a blanket ban. This is good news. This is just one more step in the right direction, and Rostin Benham is not just arguing that they are commodities. He's also arguing that there needs to be more regulatory framework being built out from Congress itself, which we've already had some of happening this year with FIT 21. We've had that happening with the government, the United States federal government, Congress passing legislation banning the United States Federal Reserve from creating a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. So a lot of good things coming out of Congress this year, but that's not the only thing we need to talk about. We've also got to talk about this. Inflation has cooled even farther in June. This is very significant because, let's back up. So, United States Federal Reserve is the central bank of the United States. They're the bank of banks. If you want to borrow money from a bank, and the bank doesn't have enough money, or they just want to have more liquidity, then they borrow money from the Bank of Banks, which is the United States Federal Reserve. It's kind of a government entity. It's kind of not. It's a central bank, and it's not exactly a private enterprise, and it's not exactly government. It's kind of somewhere in a gray area. It is the people that run it are appointed by the government, but it's not exactly government in and of itself. The Federal Reserve sets an interest rate for the for overnight banking transfers, which basically means that, hey, I'm going to borrow money from the Fed. It'll show up in the morning, but we're going to pay this amount of interest rate. That's called the effective federal funds rate. And right now that rate is about 5.15%. That effective federal funds rate was raised to 5.15% from 0% following the onset of inflation that occurred after the COVID-19 pandemic just absolutely destroyed the global economy. And that was brought up to lower inflation, which is where the Fed and inflation come together. The United States Fed hiking interest rates means that prices across the board, interestingly, in a way, kind of go up. You're able to combat inflation by increasing the interest rate. At least that's the theory. But in actual fact, what often happens is that by increasing the interest rate, you increase the price of goods. Because as much as I don't like it, and as much as many of you guys don't like it, debt is how the world revolves. The vast majority of business is operated with debt being a major component. And so when you increase the interest rate, obviously that increases the payment. It increases the amount that the banks charge. That's why mortgage rates went from 2.65% and 2.95% to 7 and 8%. You added 5%. Where'd that 5% come from? It came from the effective federal funds rate. The Fed set that. Well, the Fed is looking at one number, two numbers, employment data, because they have a dual mandate, right? But it's essentially looking at one number because the jobs data is fine. They're essentially looking at one number right now as to whether or not they're going to drop rates because they had signaled that they were going to drop rates this year. Every single one of the entire Federal Open Market Committee signaled that they were planning on voting for a rate drop of at least 25% to 0.25%, quarter of a percent, 25 basis points as it's called. A basis point is 1/100th of a percent. So 1/10,000th of a whole, right? They signaled that they were going to drop it by 25 basis points, but then inflation got sticky. And that's where this story comes in. So that's the backstory in case you didn't know what was going on here. Inflation cooled slightly. And the New York Times is reporting on this. The Consumer Price Index rose 3% in June on an annual basis, a sharper slowdown in inflation than economists had expected. On a monthly basis, prices dropped 0.1%. So what that means is last month, this number right here was 3.1%. This month is 3%, which means that inflation fell by 0.01%, seasonally adjusted, and rose by 3% over the last 12 months. It means that inflation is still occurring, which it always does, but it means that inflation is slowing down, at least slightly. Now, 0.1% is not enough for the entire market to make a huge change, but it is enough that the market that it can start to give some confidence to the Fed that there's some kind of trajectory, and it increases the likelihood that a drop in the Fed rate will happen sooner than later. So how does that impact Bitcoin? That's a lot of just what is the government doing with interest rates have to do with Bitcoin. When the government raises interest rates, it slows down the United States economy's growth, which the United States economy's growth is the thing that causes inflation. You have inflation because of economic activity. You have inflation for two reasons. One, because of the increase in the currency supply, and two, because of the increase in activity in the United States economy. And so when you increase the interest rate, you slow down the economy while also slowing down the interest rate, and you kind of hit both at the same time. Even with 5.15% or 5 point, about 5.15% EFFR, we've still had this huge bull market in stocks. When the interest rates start going down, stocks are going to most likely explode even faster. Bitcoin is highly correlated to the United States stock market, so people realize, wait a minute, by 3 points of connection here, 7 points of connection to Kevin Bacon, who's ever played that game. I know this person, who knows that person, who knows that person, who knows that person, who knows Kevin Bacon. Through 3 points of connection to the United States Federal Reserve, we can say if inflation goes down, then the Fed may drop rates, and if the rates drop, then the stock market might rally, and Bitcoin follows the stock market. So through 4 points of connection, if the inflation rate is going down, then that's good for Bitcoin. A lot of people don't realize that, but some people do. And so when we saw this news, it tanked the market. What gives? What the heck? Why did that drop? Why did that happen? Right? That makes no sense in a way. So here's what happened. This news launches at 8:30 a.m. every second Thursday or so, on when the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, releases this data. We originally saw a rally, then we hit 59.5. And we rejected. That's what happened. We had good news. People liked the fact that the interest rate was coming down. Or sorry, that the inflation rate was coming down, which will lead to lower interest rates eventually. Led to a rally, and then we absolutely got pummeled by that resistance at 59.5 that we talked about earlier. So that's what happened. If you'd like to know why, there you go. Bitcoin had a rally that was caused by the fact that the interest rates were coming, that the inflation rate came down slightly. We hit the resistance and we dumped. So it's Son Goku said, good CPI dump, bad CPI dump. What the heck, bro? Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know, as we start to go into a rally, when you start to see good CPI data, it will end up leading to rallies. But right now, it did actually lead to a rally. The rally only it's just that the rally only lasted a couple of minutes before we hit our resistance. In fact, within the minute, it came out at 8:30. The same minute it launched, people went into longs and the market rallied 2% in a minute. $832 in 1 minute. Then we hit the resistance and we crash. That's what happened. So there's a big sell wall there. And so we will continue to pay attention to what happens next, but that's what's going on. Now, guys, I want to let you know a little bit about one of our sponsors named Vault. If you have not already signed up for Vault, you absolutely should. And you can secure your assets with confidence with Vault's assisted key replacement service and access to instant trading. Here's how this works. You hold your Bitcoin and you want to keep it safe. You've got 2 keys when you sign up for Vault. You have to use both of them to access your vault. What happens if you lose one of them? As you could lose a key with any self-custody. Normally, you'd be screwed. That's the technical term. It's a 7-letter word, screwed. That's what you would normally be. Instead, in this case, because you have Vault, the uphold key, which upholds the parent company of the product Vault, you have the uphold key. And the uphold key can stand in the place of whichever key you lost. And you can use your uphold key and the one key you still hold on to get back into the wallet, regenerate the whole system, and save your Bitcoin. It's that simple. It's incredible, and it is a way to protect yourself. One of the best investments you'll ever make is an investment in your education, and the best investment you'll make after that is an investment to protect your assets. And so when you sign up for Vault, you're protecting your assets, and you're also being able to hold Bitcoin with access to 24/7 instant trading while holding it in a cold storage wallet that is 100% self-custody. So make sure to sign up for Vault with a link in the description box down below if you have not already, to protect your assets and make sure that you stay safe while you're browsing online in case something should happen and you lose a key. Let's keep it moving here. Really excited for everybody in chat. Let's see. Angela W. said, credit cards cleared. On track to pay off the mortgage by the end of this year. This will allow my husband to choose when he wants to retire, which is priceless. I love it. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay. Let's read a little bit more chat. We got a lot more news to cover here, guys. That's actually very important. All right. Yep. Let's keep it moving. Now, there are, as I said, several other things that are going on. One of them is the inflows from the United States Bitcoin ETFs. This is a chart that I am looking at pretty much every single day right now, and you should too. This is from farside.co.uk, and if you type that in, it's going to take you to their main website. I'm not exactly sure how to navigate to this table through their website, but if you look up Farside Investors Bitcoin ETF inflow table, this is what all the news articles are quoting. They're just taking screenshots of this and putting it in their article, but it's Farside Investors. This is where this is from. No affiliation, not sponsored, none of that. But this shows us the inflows coming into the different funds. And I am very pleased to let you know that we saw $147 million worth of Bitcoin inflows yesterday. That's a very big deal. All right, that's a huge deal. That is a lot of inflows. We saw 143 million on Friday, 294 million on Monday, 216 million on Wednesday, 147 million on Wednesday, which was yesterday, 216 on Tuesday, I'm sorry. So when you add those numbers together, that approaches $900 million worth of inflows in 4 trading days. And so that is obviously very good news. And it does signify that we are having a lot of confidence in the market. Now, it's not as high as what we had seen on Monday and Tuesday, which signals that there is some uncertainty. And I think that uncertainty is coming from the idea of, is Bitcoin going to be able to break through 59.5? This resistance is right above us, and the investors are thinking to themselves, are we actually going to be able to clear that? If so, great. If not, I don't know. I might wait and buy lower. And so you may end up seeing more buying taking place lower, but the good news is that is Bitcoin that is taken out of circulation, that is being held right now by long-term investors that are holding the Bitcoin ETF. Not all of them are holding it long-term. Some of them are buying and selling it, but in general, a lot of the people that are buying the Bitcoin ETF are holding it for the ultra-long term. So far, we have $15.4 billion in net inflows that have come into Bitcoin at least. And so that is very, very Very exciting. So this is indication that we are continuing to see inflows, and they've even got a chart up here for the Ethereum ETFs when those go online. So we'll be watching that as well. So stay tuned to the channel. We'll be keeping an eye on Farside Investors website here to keep an eye on the inflows. So very excited to see that. Now, that's not the last piece of news, because there is actually something else. I am very interested in this, because this is history right here. So history is coming to crypto, and it's going to happen in Nashville, which is awesome, because Nashville is one of my favorite cities in the world. Donald Trump came out recently, over the last few months, extremely bullish on Bitcoin, and he said a lot of things that people in the cryptocurrency space, quite frankly, liked. And the left really left him open for this. They really left him wide open. Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, everybody on the left, not everyone on the left. There is actually some bipartisan support for a lot of cryptocurrency, but some of the leadership in the DNC, the Democratic in the Democratic Party, has been extremely anti-cryptocurrency, and that is biting them in the butt. They're not winning that battle. It is failing hilariously for them. It is destroying them in the polls. And Donald Trump, ever the populist, ever the opportunist, realized, oh, wait a second. I can absolutely just go for the jugular here by adding Bitcoin to my roster. And so it seems that he went back and rethought it and thought to himself, is Bitcoin going to actually overthrow the dollar? Probably not. Nobody really thinks that's actually going to happen. So I guess I got no problem with it. If people are making money in America with it, then great. And so Donald Trump came out in favor of it. Well, there's been a rumor going around for couple of months that Donald Trump would be speaking at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville this year. And that conference will be happening in a couple of weeks, July 25th to July 27th. And it is now confirmed that Donald Trump will be a speaker at Bitcoin 2024, making history as the first former president to ever speak at a cryptocurrency. Pretty decent chance of getting elected to speak at the Bitcoin conference, at any of the Bitcoin conferences. This is a really big deal, because this signals from the very top. I mean, Donald Trump, when he was president, was the single most powerful individual on planet Earth. And right now, he is still one of the single most powerful individuals on planet Earth. He is, as far as humans, right? Here in the flesh in the world, he is one of the most powerful people. He and Joe Biden are two of the most powerful individuals on the entire planet. The United States is the most powerful economy, most powerful country on the earth. And Donald Trump and Joe Biden are arguably the two most powerful men in the entire country. And so seeing, number one, number two, whatever, most powerful individual on the entire planet in all of human civilization speaking on Bitcoin favorably goes to show you that Bitcoin's adoption has penetrated to the very top of society. This is not about Donald Trump's politics. This is not about what you think about his economics. This is not about what you think about him as an individual. I think he's got plenty of flaws, just the same way I think Biden has plenty of flaws. By the way, just the same way I've got plenty of flaws. Okay, so I'm not all 100%, oh, Trump can do no wrong. I don't worship the ground he walks on. I certainly don't do that with Biden either. But what I will tell you is this. Like him or hate him, you cannot argue that he is one of the most powerful individuals that has ever walked the planet. And so when he or Biden, either one of them, this would have been just as big of a story if Joe Biden were doing this, right? It's not because Trump, it's just a president, right, is doing this. When they are speaking on Bitcoin and they're speaking favorably on Bitcoin, again, as I said, this shows that the adoption and the acceptance of Bitcoin globally has gone straight to the very top of society. This is a landmark moment that will go down in history books, because one day in financial classes around the world, there will be classes taught on cryptocurrency, and there will be a history of cryptocurrency class out there somewhere. Same way there's a history of the stock market class out there. You're going to see a history of the cryptocurrency market, and this may well be one of the chapters. Who knows? Not just Trump going into one conference, but the whole idea of, and this is how modern politics evolved to adopt Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And, Donald Trump went to a conference. They talked about it at a presidential debate. The president got elected, did this. This is literally history in the making right here. So again, like him, hate him, don't care. That's not why I'm bringing this up. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this is serious. This is very, 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 very serious, and very exciting. Very, very exciting. Really interested to see what he's going to say, because Donald Trump, he is not one to just necessarily read a teleprompter. He's one to just kind of get up on stage and start just saying whatever he wants. I'm really curious to see what he's going to say on Bitcoin. really, really, really curious because he's going to be speaking on it. And yeah, again, knowing Trump, he might have a prompter, but I kind of doubt it, to be honest. So we'll kind of get a feeling for how much he actually knows about crypto. Does he actually know anything about it, or is he just saying this stuff because it'll get him elected? We'll see. I don't know. He hated Bitcoin when he was president. He didn't do a whole lot for it. He didn't necessarily fight against it, but he didn't do much for it when he was president. So we'll see. I want to see some trust built from the Trump campaign. If he does get elected, is this guy somebody who actually kind of knows at least a little bit what he's talking about with Trump? At the end of the day, though, guys, succeeding with Bitcoin is not about Donald Trump. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about FinSov. It's about choosing to be financially sovereign over our investments. Joel just said in chat, FinSovs don't need Trump's endorsement. Yeah, it's true. You know, we have the ability between God and us. We've got everything that we need to succeed. That's what we have. So long as we have God, we have what we need. So long as we have him. So long as we are following him and we know that the Lord Jesus Christ is our King, and we know there's nothing we could do to inherit salvation. We are not subscribing to this works-based idea. You know, we're leaning on the grace of God. Once we have that, and we are meek, not weak. I don't care how the dictionary defines it. Meek was a biblical term that dates back thousands of years before Merriam-Webster was ever born. By the way, Merriam-Webster was a Christian. Merriam-Webster, I'm sorry. Webster, the man, was a Christian. Not Merriam-Webster, those are two different people. But Webster, the man, was a Christian. Charles Merriam, he was a Christian. That's part of the reason he founded the dictionary, the Merriam-Webster dictionary, right? The word meek does not mean weak. I don't care how culture defines it nowadays. Culture defined it wrong. Okay, so we can have two different words, but what meek means is someone who is strong, who is under control, and is submitted to God, and is using their strength only for the benefit of others. That's what a meek individual is. Once you become meek with your finances, and the best way to do that is by subscribing to the idea of financial sovereignty, that is where you will succeed with finances. And that's where you'll succeed with money. So it's not about any of the news. It's not about this TA. It is about those things. Those things are important. But when you choose to be financially sovereign, you get control of your own wealth. When you make that choice in your own heart and you say, from this day forward, I control my money, period. There's a pesticide. I won't say who because I think they're a decent company. They just made a mistake. Pesticide company that we're thinking about signing up with. And I woke up this morning and I saw a receipt for $79.99. I said, like, hell, you're charging me $79.99. You haven't done anything yet. As soon as I get off, I'm getting on the phone. I'm like, I did not authorize that payment. I am in control of that $79.99. You will give it back right now. I did not tell you you could do that. I don't even know what this is for. I'm having that back now. Like, I am in control of my wealth. I love you. You guys seem like a great company, but thank you very much. I'll be having that back, please. Right? I'm in control of my money. A penny doesn't leave our accounts without me knowing about it. A penny does not go into any investment without me knowing where it's going and why it's going there. That's how you become financially sovereign. And I will tell you, somebody who lived most of his life not financially sovereign, that living financially sovereign is the best way to live. Matanya Holmes and Schmedley B, who are in the process and have finished paying off all their debt, which is only one part of the financial sovereignty way. Angela W, as well, who's talked about paying off all her debt. You can read back in chat. They will tell you how important it is to be financially sovereign. Anyone in chat, I challenge anybody in chat who has followed our principles, what we have taught. Any of you, tell us in chat right now exactly what it's done for you. Good, bad, ugly, don't care. I want the honest truth. Has financial sovereignty helped your life or hurt it? I would be surprised if a single person says that by following the path of financial sovereignty, their life has been worse. I would be very shocked. And if so, I believe it could be down to, hey, maybe there's some way that we can teach this differently because maybe we missed something. Maybe we skipped a step. Is there some way we can help? Because I cannot tell you a single person that I've ever taught financial sovereignty to that regretted following it. Not one. Not one. So subscribe to the channel and I will help you to become very wealthy, be able to give a lot of money away, and most importantly, have peace when it comes to your finances. I'm going to read chat here for just a second, then we're going to wrap it out. Before I do that, I want to let you know about one of our sponsors today, which is Crypto.com. If you've not already signed up for Crypto.com, you absolutely should. They're trusted by over 100 million users worldwide, and for a very good reason. They've got everything you need to succeed trading and investing in cryptocurrency. This is where you can go and set up your recurring purchases. When you're investing in crypto, I want you to start by buying Bitcoin on a regular basis and doing that on some exchange. Crypto.com, great place to do it. You set up a recurring buy every Friday at 5 p.m. You get that purchase in. Every 1st and 15th, you get that purchase in. Every month on the 27th, you get that purchase in. Whatever it is, not daily, not less often than once a month. You're not doing it 4 times a year. You're doing it once a month or more often, but not more than once a week. So from once a week to once a month or somewhere in between, then that's great. That's where you're going to be able to really get that right frequency for your investment. And so the best place to do that is Crypto.com. So make sure to sign up with the link in the description box down below. If you're looking for an exchange to get in, this is where you ought to start. All right. I'm going to read a little bit of chat here, and then we will go ahead and wrap it out. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Let's see. Dan T said, I was holding Cardano since 2018 and finally swapped it out for better crypto. I'm not going to sell my Cardano because I invested it with money I was willing to lose. But I am looking at it because it actually is in profit. Most of our Cardano we bought at like 25 cents. So, oh well. But yeah. Nunya Beeswax. I love this answer. I love this answer so much. FinSov stings a bit in the beginning when you first realize how dumb you are with money. It's true. It does sting a bit. You know, I was trying to save my son's preschool, and I wrote a plan. I was like, I wrote a 9-page plan the same day they said they were closing and sent it to leadership. And it would have worked, but it would have stung. They weren't willing to do it. Some people don't want to be helped. I tell you what, I will. I told my client this yesterday on my coaching call. Might be watching. Shout out to you if you are. I will sooner die than stop what I'm doing here. Now, listen. Let's say I screw up real bad and I just let things go to pot, and we're not making enough money that I can live off of. Well, first of all, we got a bunch of investments, so I'd have plenty of time to turn things around. But let's say I screwed up so bad that I couldn't have this be a job anymore. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how that would happen. I mean, I've done this for the last 7 years. It's always worked out. But let's say that happened. I will not stop preaching on FinSov until the day I die. There's a famous video that was so inspiring to me years ago when I saw it. When somebody asked Elon Musk, what would it take to stop you from doing Tesla and from doing SpaceX and trying to make humanity an interplanetary species? He literally just said, just kind of like, it was like somebody asked him what color the sky was. It was just an obvious answer. It was like, oh, you'd have to kill me. Oh, you'd have to kill me. Because I never give up. You know, it was almost crying. And the interview was interesting. The interviewer, I think it was 60 Minutes interview, was there when the company was facing bankruptcy. They said, what would it take for you to quit? And he was about to cry. And he said, I don't ever give up. You'd have to kill me. That's why Tesla is a multi-$100 billion company. That's why SpaceX is a multi-tens of billions dollar company that's revolutionizing space travel. It's because one man, like him or hate him, Elon Musk ain't perfect, man. I tell you what, like him or hate him, he had one thing right. He said, I will sooner die than let this die. If something's going to die, it's going to be me before my mission. I'm going before this mission goes. And that's how I am with my family. I'm going to die before I let anything bad happen to them, before I let anybody hurt them. And I'm going to die before I let this mission of financial sovereignty die. And so if you are in alignment with that, share this with everyone you know. Share this with everyone you know. I don't give a flying nonsense if you have my name in it. I don't care. Tell them about FinSov. Start a movement. Let them know that, yeah, it stings in the beginning. But just like Nunya Beeswax, great name, just said, it stings in the beginning because you realize how dumb you are with money. Oh, it stung for us when we were getting out of debt. It stung for us when we were putting together our emergency fund. It stung for us when we were doing our budget. It stung for us when we started eating crow, saying, man, I've made a few $1 million in my life, and man, I suck with some of the basics. I got to go back to basics. I got to run some drills, man. I got to go run the mile 20 times. I got to get back in shape. That stings. You know why? Because humility stings. Our pastor said something on Friday that I loved. He said, some of you want comfort, but you have not repented into comfort yet. You want the comfort of financial peace, but you have not repented of the foolishness to get that peace. You've got to repent, and that stings because it takes being humble, but it's worth it. No discipline is pleasant in the moment, but it produces a harvest of righteousness. Repent of the foolishness. Declare war on chaos and choose to be financially sovereign. That is step 1 of the financial sovereignty way. And you can do that as soon as this stream is over. You can get on your hands and knees and you can repent of the foolishness. You can say, I have been dumb. I've been so stupid with credit cards. I have been so inexplicably dumb with taking out debt to invest in Bitcoin. I've been so dumb with car payments. I got $1,400 a month in car payments sitting in the front yard. I bought a house that's 50% of my take-home pay. I decided to sit around and play video games and not show up at work for the last 2 years, so now I got no income and I'm broke. You've got to get on your knees and you got to say, repenting of this is going to hurt. Yeah, it's going to hurt. But it's not going to hurt as much as continuing down this road. I'm going to choose to take all the pain right now, then choose to live in this pain for the next rest of my life. And then you get up from your knees, you get down on your knees, and you say, I'm so sorry. I'm mourning. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are you when you mourn over how dumb you've been with money, for you will be comforted, but you have not repented into that comfort yet. Mourn over your foolishness. Get down on your knees humbly and say, I have been stupid with money. I have been dumb with time management. I have been a terrible husband. Whatever it is, I have been bad. I have not been right. I have not done this the right way. You get down humbly and you say, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's some tears. You're going to cry. Like if you're doing this right, you're going to cry. Right? If you're not crying during this, either it hadn't hit you hard enough or you think you're perfect. And by the way, newsflash, you're not. Right? You're probably going to cry. And you're probably going to get up feeling like, I got to go apologize to some people, man. And then here's what you do. You get up and you roar like a lion and you say, I've got to declare war on this chaos. I have been my own enemy and I am going to decide today that's over. That's over. I get up. I'm at war. From this point forward, I'm at war with chaos. And that war ends when I have a budget and I'm following it every day and I'm sticking to it. And I'm getting rid of the chaos in my life. I'm spending $1,400 a month eating out. I'm spending $300 a month in vending machines, whatever it is. And you choose in that moment to walk the FinSov way. That is how you change your life. As the great motivator Les Brown said, you change your life when you finally say, I've had it. I'm done with this. Blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. That's not just those that mourn because somebody died. That's those that mourn because they've been foolish. Blessed are you when you mourn over your own foolishness, and then you choose to repent. And then you choose to do something about it. You will be comforted. So, Nunya Beeswax hit it right on the head. FinSov stings a bit in the beginning when you realize just how dumb you were with money. That's the repentance part. And yeah, it does sting. In the same way, when you come before a holy God and you repent and you say, God, I've been wicked. I have been so wrong. I repent. I want to follow you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That kind of stings. But then you're comforted. The comfort comes after you repent. It stings because you're humbling yourself. What stings is the foolishness leaving you. Right? That's all that foolishness getting out of you. It hurts. It takes something with you. It takes a piece of your identity because you identified yourself with being an idiot with money. And then it leaves you and you're like, wow, I'm not an idiot with money anymore as of 3 seconds ago. Let me go prove that I'm not an idiot with money anymore. Right? And it stings when that leaves you because you're losing a part of your identity. I identify with being a moron with money. Me. I'm not just you. I identify with being dumb with money. And when it leaves you, that's the pain. The thing that hurts is you're saying, man, that's a part of me gone. Huh. Because to be honest, you kind of like that part of you, which is why you left it there. So yeah, it stings. It stings to admit you've been wrong. Crypto Nene said, you've been such a blessing, Jeb. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ruslana said, that's right, exclamation point. It is. Crypto Nene's in chat. Shout out to you. Welcome. Ruslana Kulikova giving us that sign. So welcome. Thank you so much. And so please, guys, follow FinSov. Follow the financial sovereignty way. Invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Change your life. Change your life, baby. Change your life. I'm going to show you how. Guys, I'm on kind of a semi-paternity leave right now, just getting ready for the baby. I'm doing the stream video, all that, but I'm really going to be cracking down hard building FinSov Academy here in about 3-4 months once we're kind of sleeping at night and all that, and the baby's kind of settled in. When FinSov Academy comes out, I think I want to see 1,000 of you guys in FinSov Academy in the first 30 days. That's what I want to see. I want to see 1,000 of you in FinSov Academy in the first 30 days. I'm going to show you step by step, point by point, detail by detail, in person, over Zoom calls and whatnot, how to change your life. That is going to be our community for people that are really serious about this. Stay tuned. I want it to launch before Black Friday in November. So that's the plan. Stay tuned. Very excited about that. Hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. More content's coming. Thank you guys for being patient with me as I've been kind of, doing a lot lately. Really appreciate all of you being here. We're going to wrap it out. Before we go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.